Hello everyone, this is Benjamin. I'm doing the stream of the Hikaru bot of Queen Odds. Um it took me a little while to figure out and set up. I had a few people waiting, but I didn't know exactly how to do it on my Chromebook. It was a little difficult, a little different on on the way it worked. I had to go somewhere else. Where is it exactly? Um yeah, here. I had to go. I'm not sure if it was analysis practice or something like that, but I had to go somewhere else and then go into where I'm at now. So it I had a few people waiting and they left, so hopefully they can get back on. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get that on. So just give me a second so I can share it to them. Basically the way it works is that with queen odds, the main thing is to try to keep it simple and um basically just trade for the most part, whatever you can. So that's basically what I'm gonna focus on. Even though high carb bot is like super strong, it's not impossible to do. So I'm gonna see exactly if anyone comes on. So hold on a second. All right, I guess I'll just get started. I'm not gonna wait too long. Like I said, it sucks because there was a lot of people waiting and now there's no one on, but that's fine. I can go out anyways and people can watch it after. So basically, the way it works when it comes to this is that, yeah, I already said that without the queen, just basically trade down. Be very simple, don't complicate it, and sometimes it's okay to sacrifice a little bit of material. So here I go. All right, this is already. Um, well, actually, without the queen, I don't see exactly what he'll be doing here. So let's see. Um, so I just take a guess. Like I said, what he'll be doing here without the queen. So I know we don't like the Stanford, but I do know that this is an important piece to come out. So I'm just going to go ahead and take and not worry about it too much. And then just protect the pawn. All right. So he's attacking the queen already. That's very aggressive. I'm just gonna block with a piece. So if we both had queens, I might have considered f3, but because we both don't, I rather try to do trades. So trading is like your friend here. From here, I'm not going to castle right away. I'm going to leave the option to castle queenside. And so I'm just going to play d4 and just kind of get my pieces out. So, all right. Plays that. Now I'm thinking about castling queenside now just because I might be able to throw some pawns at him at some point. I think my attack would get to him first before his gets to mine. All right. So let's see here. This knight doesn't have any squares. If I push this up, he wants to go back if he doesn't want to trade. So, like I said, trading is your friend here. So, okay. Then my bishop up and just start moving my pawns. It should be pretty, very straightforward and easy. Here, yeah, I think I like that. So I'm gonna start with the a3 first. All right, I pay a little bit more attention. I just lost a pawn. It's not a big deal, but I should pay a little bit more attention. So I'm going to see here what to do. If I move my queen out the way, his knight will be threatened. Or I can just attack the knight directly. He will be able to go here. And this will be a nice diagonal for my bishop. So I'm going to go ahead with that. Okay. Two pieces attacking my pawn. I don't have a good way to defend him. I really don't, to be honest. My knight can't go here to block it, and this square is taken up by this pawn. So I actually don't have a good way to defend this pawn. I can move up, and he can maybe take it, but I don't really like that too much either. So I pretty much have to figure out which way I want him to take it. Do I want him to take it here, or do I want him to take it up here? And the difference will be, let's see, if he were to take it here, his bishop would be attacking the square. If I move up one and he takes it, he might be able, but he would get a good pawn structure a little better. So give me a second. Bishop h5. You mean bishop h4, you mean? Bishop h4 basically would lose the bishop for free because he can take it with his bishop. That wouldn't be very good. Actually, I'm thinking about I can actually move my bishop here to attack his knight. And if he takes the pawn, I would have to move my queen out the way and then take his knight later. The knight doesn't really have anywhere to go, but after he captures this piece, the knight can come here though. So that wouldn't be able to take the knight. Let's say I go here. Oh, bishop h5 right here. Okay, I was thinking about this bishop for some reason. Bishop h5. Yeah, if he takes here, and let's say I move my queen to the square, he can move his knight out the way. But I am threatening a piece, so I can go ahead and try that. And move over one. All right. I gotta stop moving really quickly. But this isn't super bad for me because once I move out the way, trading a bishop for a rook isn't that bad because you're up a queen. Like, that's not bad, to be honest. And take here. And I'm still up 6 points. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good eye for that. Because the idea is to trade everything. And right now I can go here to attack both pieces. But the problem is he can move the rook over. So but if I take the rook and he takes my queen, I can take his other rook, which would be really good for me. So that wouldn't matter if he goes over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and try to trade again. Which I can take. Yeah, trading is the best thing to do here when you have queen's odds. I should be able to win even though I didn't notice the pin that he had. And I lost a pawn for free. Because all you really have to do, like I said, is just trade down. Just trade down. I'm thinking about attacking the rook, but I feel like I can just go over here and start taking pawns. But then again, he can come down here. So maybe I should defend first. Yeah, I think defending first is a good idea. Because I didn't want to have his rooks down here in the 7th and then, start causing some problems. Yeah, rook to d1, I think will be good if we were to trade. So I'm gonna go ahead with that. All right. Now all that's left is a rook versus queen and knight. And basically, I'm not too sure if I want to trade my queen for his rook. I'm actually considering it because I think I can beat him with my pawns and my knight versus his pawns. If I can't, then that would be really embarrassing. But I am considering on it, and I'll just go ahead and do that because I think I can bring my king over here, defend these pawns versus these pawns, and my knight should be able to collect all of these. So let's see. All right. The real Hikaru will not make that trade because he wants to at least fight. So yeah, I'm gonna move this pawn up one, trade him off, and then use my knight to get rid of the rest. Bring my king in. Bring my king in. And here I kind of, should I trade? This pawn would be kind of weak. If I could get my knight on this square, which won't be attacked by any pawn, this pawn will be a target. So I'm going to move up. So maybe I can come over here, attack that pawn. If I move up one, he can't come here because my knight. I could bring my king up and then bring this up and kind of try to close him off a little bit. But before I do that, I want to make sure I can do something, which I can. I can bring my knight over here to attack these pawns. So this looks good. All right, now let's close this off. And now that I closed it off, I should be able to just easily win. And this started off with queen odds. So basically, the idea was basically just trade everything off and win without really much of a hassle. So this is basically all you had to really do with queen odds. Is just trade down. You're not supposed to like try to keep on your queen, you know what I'm saying, and try to win and keep your queen to win, you know. Obviously, if I move up, that'll be stalemate. That'll be bad. So he's probably gonna try to move back and forth here. I'm gonna let's see here. Move my knight in and move here. Move my knight and move back. Call check and move here. Then I can move back here, and he would have to go somewhere else. So I'm not too worried about it. I can just go ahead and start with that. Yeah. And okay, and I can just make a queen here. La di la la. Check. This is a check, but he'll come back. I kind of want to keep him trapped in there, so I'll just move one square over. Move my knight in. I kind of want to slowly trap him in there. Let's check. The king has no squares, so I need to give him some breathing room. This is the check. And now that'll be check. He'll move back one, and that'll be mate. That's pretty much how to go about it. So, would it give me analysis or no? Okay. Yeah, they have analysis right here. Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm sorry. It opens a new tab, and it won't show up on your screen. So I can't do that. So from here, practice custom position allows you to add position or game. This allows you to do that. This allows you to basically change the position on the board. And basically what I've done was, where is it at? Set up position. Click on the queen, take it off the board. think it's called Practice versus Computer. Oh no, this opens up a new. Actually, I think I can. Where is it at? Right here. I think I can follow it. 1 second. Yeah. Okay, I figured out how to switch screens for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it one more time for you guys. We're gonna play versus computer, and I'm trying to get the right tab here. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this. I got to get the right tab to do this with. So change bot. Once I finish it, I'll just switch it over. And I'm having a hard time doing it with it because every time I click something, it opens up a different tab, and I have it set to share with one specific tab. So I'm gonna exit out, and then go to Restream, Chrome tab. I had to exit all my screens, so I figured it out. So basically, I'm gonna do the same thing again. Basically, trade down and be very simple, and that's pretty much it. Just trade down, be very simple, and you should be able to win, beat anybody with queen odds. Okay. If you're playing a game and you win a queen, you should win the game no matter what you do. Here, if I take, he takes back, and I can bring my knight in, and that's good for me because I'm opening up the position. That would be good for me. I don't understand this right here, so I'm just gonna take it. He's probably gonna be faster at developing. He would have 2 pieces out. I have none. But I think that'll be okay for me. Yeah, he just basically really developed very quickly. So knight f3. And I'm happy to trade, so I will move my bishop here to allow the trade to happen. If he wants to bring his attack and have my bishop here, I'll be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead with that. And this is very normal. For some reason, without his queen, he castles queenside. He's been doing that the last few times, and that's okay. I'm just gonna bring my knight over to defend and maybe push my pawn up to bring it out. Okay, attacking his pawn. The pawn isn't really defended well because if I move my knight, my kind of exposed. So like if he takes and I take, but he can't really. Yeah, he actually can. If he takes and I take, he can actually go over here and call it check. And if I block it, he can just take my queen. So that'd be pretty bad. I'm considering I move my pawn up, and if he takes it with any of his pieces, which he'd be kind of forced to take something, then I can take it back, and it's good for me. He can also just take my knight, which I can take back. So that'd be better for me than the other option. Yeah. And I will take off my bit. Like I wouldn't take off my knight just because of that trick. So I'm gonna castle now. And trading is good for me, by the way, not good for him. If this was the actual Hikaru, he wouldn't be doing that because he would know better. He wouldn't do that. I would consider normally moving here, but in this specific situation, if he were to call a check, okay, I can't take the queen because that would be really bad. He'll take my rook. If I go rook over and he takes it, I would have to take it back with my knight. And he can't use check to take my queen because my king is over here. Actually, he can. This way. So this is a little bit more complicated than last time. And I don't like that because the idea was to make it as simple as possible. I'm going to leave my rook here. And I'm going to avoid all that stuff by just not doing anything about it. If he were to take this now, I would just have to take it with my queen. And that would be it. And I'm not going to move anything out of the way to allow any of those tactics. I'm just going to avoid them all. So the only way I can see to avoid them all would be maybe move c4. But if he takes it and I take it, he can go back here and call it check. But if I take it and he takes my queen, I'll be trading a queen for a bishop and a rook. So that's not really that bad, actually. Trading my queen for bishop and rook when I already up a queen, that will mean I'm up a rook and a bishop instead of a queen, which is actually very good. So let's see here. I go here. He were to take. I were to take. Yeah, that actually would be good for me. Am I doing it? Attacking this square now. I can just move my my queen right here. But then if he takes this way and I take with mine, he can just, yeah, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. This was supposed to be a lot more simple. Normally it is. We have to think a little bit. I still have this defended. And he'll just take that. All my pieces are pretty much tied up. I'm thinking about just taking his rook knight here. Just to free up all the complications, which is probably what I'm doing. Because there's a lot going on, and I don't want to blunder like a whole piece. If I move my queen over here, I can easily move away and free up my position. So I basically sacrificed a piece to free up my position, basically. Now, if I move my knight here and he were to take it, and I were to take it, and he would come down, it would be a queen, rook, and bishop versus a rook, rook, and bishop, which I'll still be winning. I will still be winning if I did that. So I'm considering on sacrificing a piece, because if I move my knight somewhere else, for example, and he come down here, well, actually, I would be able to take his bishop, and then that's actually even better. So maybe I can do this first to free up things. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, I'm going to take his bishop first. Let's see here. Attack his knight. I can even go up here to attack the queen. I mean his rook, actually. Yeah. And that's perfectly fine. Because I was already up a queen, that was actually good for me. That's pretty much how you win with a material advantage. So like if you're playing a game and you win somebody's queen, you can see the rating difference between me and Hikaru, like 1368, 2820. A huge difference. But using these simple ideas, you see how I can end up winning, even though I was up a queen. You would think that he would still be able to bot. But if I can beat the bot this way at this crazy rating, if you do the same thing games, let's say you're up a rook or up a knight or something, and you want to trade stuff off, usually you end up winning. It's really not that difficult to win like that. So I'm just going to take these pawns right here. And then after taking these pawns, then I'm just going to march my pawns up to make a queen. So I'm going to go ahead and take here. If I threaten this pawn, I might as well block it off. Because if I go here first, move his pawn down, now he can't do that. I'm not worried about this at all because I can just take it at any point. Actually, I'll just close it off now. Now there's no chances of making a queen. And I can take here. And I can block it off. I'm not going to try to checkmate him with a knight and a bishop because I haven't learned how to do that. I've seen like the method, but I haven't really, practiced it. So there's no point in me trying to do it live and figuring it out now. I'd rather figure it out on my own time. So here I just basically do regular checkmate. That's pretty much it. Nice. Queen can go here. I can slowly box him in. He can move here. I also move my pawn up. It'll be easier. Just to stop everything. Yeah, so that's pretty much all you have here. So, all right. So hopefully, I played 2 games with him doing the same thing. So if you're over, it's basically very simple. If you're up material, you just basically trade down, and you basically end up winning. It's really like that's all you pretty much have to do. And I've did it against a bot that's 15 higher than I am. Yeah, so it's still early. So if somebody wants to play against me, to be fine. We can or two. If anyone's interested. Yeah. But even here, when everything was here, I just basically every other trade. That's what I did. Even though he gave him better development, I kept making sure we can trade. And he can sacrifice a pawn to trade a piece. And here, even when everything was complicated, and I wasn't entirely sure what was going to happen, like there was a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't, I didn't really know how to get out of that. Now that I look at it, it was fine because if he would have taken that, and if he would have taken here, this actually would have been me because I would have had a rook, bishop, and a rook, or a rook and a knight, which is perfectly fine. I should have just went on with that, but I was a little worried and ended up setting a salary. I'm taking a rook for a knight, price to exchange. And then over here, same thing. I'm like, I'm just gonna take price to exchange again. Basically, a bishop and a knight for a queen. And I ended up with these versus. So basically, instead of being a queen up, I was a 2 bishops up. And that was obviously, yeah, 3-minute time control is perfectly fine. We can go ahead and do that. So I went from being a queen up to 2 bishops. And that's not really a loss. That's perfectly fine because that's very easy. And just keep trading. That's basically all you have to do is keep trading. And took the knight for rooks. But the real Hikaru would not have done that. To keep his pieces on the board and to try to be very all right. Let's go. He would know not to do that. All right, let's go ahead. Normal e4, e4, e5. That's good. I'll do a king's gambit. I've learned a little bit about it, but not very much. I think this is good for me. Right here. As it opens this up. I'm just going to develop. I'm a little unsure what to do here after this. So I'm just going to go ahead and develop. I mean, I can take, but it's not. Yeah, I can't go to this square here because the bishop. So I'll just develop. I can take with this pawn, but you can take here. Yeah, I'll take this way. And I can attack the queen. And this pawn is defended by my knight, so I'm not worried about him taking it. All right. And here, if I take... no, I don't need to. I can just develop, and if he takes, I can take back. So I'm not too worried about it. This would hit 2 pieces, but I also have check here, and I have other threats, so I'm not too worried about any of that. That's a free piece. It is attacking my bishop, but it's not defended. So like when 2 bishops are facing each other, you obviously they can capture each other at any time. But since it's my move, I can just capture. And from here, I can take back. Let's see here. I'm just going to castle. And if he attacks, I can just move my king back. And I'll be pretty safe. And from there, I can just develop and attack. I'm up a bishop, so all I have to do here is just trade. Pretty much like earlier, just trade everything and then pretty much win. So I'm out the way. I'm talking a little bit too much, so my time is going down. So I'm going to move a little faster so I don't lose on time. All right. I'm going to attack the bishop. I'm going to move my knight in to maybe bring him in somewhere to attack. So I'm going to try to bring him out in the open. So like he pretty much, I think he only has this square, I think. Then I can attack again, and I have the queen behind him. So let's try to bring him out somewheres in the open. Okay. I'll take. Notice that pre-moving now because of my time. So excuse me. Okay. I had to pre-move a lot just because I would have lost it if I didn't on time. I'm on the mouse, so it's more difficult for me to play faster. On the phone, it's a lot easier to click stuff, but here you have to. It takes a little bit more. So, all right. His last open was pretty decent. He actually is falling a little bit of life as a free piece, and I can take. That's fine. Normally my knight is right here, but this allows my bishop to have. All right. Just block the check. That actually loses that actually allows me to develop my queen over here. So normally I play c6 sometimes in this setup, so this actually helps me do that. I can also go here because I have attacking his pawn and also the king behind it. This is a free pawn because he can't take it because of defended. All right, I still have this right here, so I'll go ahead and take that pawn with a check. He pretty much has to move back. That is a free bishop. It's defended, but but I have my queen as well. We're gonna attack his bishop. He can move it back. So I'll do this first. But the idea is to push up and I can actually just take his rook and be perfectly fine. Because that's if you're up the material like that, it's perfectly fine to do trades like that. And here I can attack his bishop to take it. I know I kind of dropped a pawn, but it's for the bishop, so it's okay. And here I have the pawn here, so exchange pawns. And here I'm just threatening a back rank mate, which is what we did. All the puzzles that I did with you guys pretty much explains how this works with the back rank mate. So that's pretty much the puzzles. Like I know a lot of people say puzzles aren't realistic, but that's part of the puzzles. Now we can play one more, and then I get going. It's almost. I started a little early. I kind of usually do this for about 40, 50 minutes. It's normal. All right. I learned a little bit of King Gambit, so if he takes, I'll just. That's a counter gambit. I believe if I take here, he can actually come in and call a check, and if I move up, call a check and take my rook. So I'm not supposed to take with my f pawn. I believe I'm supposed to take with my e pawn. That way, if he would have called check, I can block it and it's protected, and he can't come in to the square right here. So I'm supposed to be taking with the e pawn, I believe here. Okay. Now if I take this way, same thing. He can come in and call a check, and if I block, he can come into the square and take my rook. So that's the threat again. So I'm going to just put my queen here. That way, if he does take, I can trade queens. Okay. Threatening this pawn. I'm gonna attack. Maybe trade. Take whichever he prefers. Okay. And take this pawn. He can't take with the queen because of pin. Trade. And I'm only up a pawn, but he has this. He can actually attack this pawn right here, actually. But I'm going to go ahead and check. If he blocks with a knight, I can just take it. I'm just trading all the pieces off, protecting my pawn. And I can block this way. I actually can move here now because he can't do this because of this pawn here. And I can castle. I know everything's not developed. But that's okay. Just go on. Attack this pawn. Maybe at some point have my knight help. I'm gonna have to defend this pawn first. And that's okay. I'll just take back if he takes. But I'll take back this way with the bishop. Only because I don't want to have this open. Okay, I can take that. It's a knight. Down to bishop. And then bring my bishop back if I have to. He's actually playing super well. I'm only up 2 pawns. Almost moved it. It's actually a hanging piece, so that's free. I almost moved it because he was being threatened, and I didn't realize that a free piece. So I had to hurry up now because of last time. All right. So now my job is basically to cut the king off. And I'm going to do that with my king. Okay. I'll go back. And checkmate will be over here eventually. Okay, well, now it's fine. All right. That's yeah. And this is also in puzzles too. It shows you how to do the king and rook checkmate, especially ones. All right. I'll get going. Yeah, the checkmates that I did in the past few games are basically very similar to the puzzle checkmates that I've been doing through the week. So definitely check those out. So I hope you guys learned a bit about how to trade down to win by watching me beat the Hikaru bot and explaining a little bit. You just basically keep it super simple and just trade pieces. And typically that's all you have to do. So, and as you get better, you'll definitely understand why people resign after losing their queen. You're not really supposed to for the most part, but all right, good game. Yeah. Yeah, I have my settings set so people have to accept the chat. That's only because some people, some people can be rude. So I normally don't have my settings so people can't talk to me unless I accept it. So, all right. Yep. Thank you for the games. I'm going to go log off now. Just like, subscribe, share. And the main thing is the puzzles. Puzzles are pretty good.